Trigonometry versus precalculus. Which one should you take first? And which one is harder? So my experience with trig and precalc as a student were that I took both at the same time. And despite my best efforts, despite thinking that I did worse in trig, I actually got an A in trig and a B in precalc, which I was very disappointed about. Now, let's flip that around. As a professor, I've taught trig for years. I taught trig for years. I taught so many sections of trig and pre-calc, including the combined course where it's like a trig pre-calc combo course. And honestly, out of all of the classes I've ever taught in college, trig is the class with the lowest pass rates. It's the one that I had the worst grades in, and I'm a pretty easy teacher. I mean, I'm not super easy, but I was a pretty lenient grader. I gave good test reviews and good homework assignments, but trig is just naturally harder. And I think it's because up until that point, all you've done is study algebra, right? You've learned how to solve equations, you've dealt with algebraic expressions. You haven't really spent a lot of time working with trigonometric functions, sine, cosine, tangent. What are these creatures, right? And so when you get to trig, it's like a whole nother beast. Also in trig, here's the key point. Here's the key point. In trig, on that first test, you have to memorize the trig function values. What is the sine of pi over 3? What is the cosine of pi over 6? You have to memorize these things. And then you have to know how to use those results to compute the sine of 5 pi over 6, the cosine of 7 pi over 3. And so that is a procedure that involves reference angles. And if you don't learn that, it's going to hurt you for the rest of the course. And so I think that's the thing with trig. Everything kind of builds from that first test, whereas pre-calc, everything is a little bit more disjoint. You've got rational functions, you've got sequences, you've got logarithms, you've got exponentials, you've got matrices, you've got conic sections. So it's a little bit more spread out. So I think that's the big difference between trig and pre-calc. Pre-calc, you have kind of like an array of topics, whereas a course like trig, um, everything builds on that first test. And if you mess up on that first test, my friends, that's really where it gets bad. So that's my advice. If you want to learn mathematics, check out my courses. I've got a trig course too, link in the description. I've got books, check those out as well. So yeah, as always, stay strong, my friends.